A lot of people took the leap of faith and moved to Texas and New Braunfels in 2021, but do they regret their decision? Did they make a colossal mistake? And do they want to move back to the states where they came from? Today's video is all about speaking with actual people about their big decision to move here. So if you plan on moving to New Braunfels, please watch this video first. I just want you to be the most informed when it comes to New Braunfels, and that's why we're putting out these videos every week about what it's like to live here. We have families from California, from Oregon, and stretching all the way out to the East Coast that moved to New Braunfels in 2021. So today's video is all about asking some of these families the tough questions for your benefit. Now, like our first family, so many families moved to New Braunfels this year because of the way their states were handling the pandemic, and because also our cost of living is more affordable in New Braunfels and we have less government interference here. Those three triggers caused the Grace family from California to move to New Braunfels this year, but do they regret their decision to move here? And what kind of challenges and stumbles are they running up against?
We're going to be doing our first Christmas here, and the weird part is not having to make plans with family. You know, usually we'd go to Jenna's parents or we'd go to my sister's, and you know, now it's solo Christmas here in New Braunfels, so it's going to be different. I think the grandparents really miss the grandkids a lot, you know, so they call and, you know, send little letters and stuff, but you know, that's been the hardest adjustment, I'd say. No regrets, just trying to make do with the situation, and New Braunfels has a ton of great cultural stuff to do, so we're really just, you know, delving into that. We felt like it was something we really needed to do for our family, for our, you know, our kids especially, to come out here and have the opportunity to live in a place like this. Just the people out here are great. Just there's a sense of community and people just generally being very friendly, and you can tell they just want to help. They just want to be a good neighbor, and we want to do the same. So it's been a great transition in that way.
Lessons learned. What have you guys learned in the time that you've been here so far?
Just, you know, do your research. I probably would have come here sooner, and the biggest, you know, advice I could give to somebody thinking about moving out here is come out here, spend a week. We ended up spending a week, not intentionally because we got stranded due to the ice storm, but spend a couple days. We didn't make our decision really final until we were here, and it just took a couple days.
Thomas and his family could not get to New Braunfels, Texas fast enough, as you just heard, but leaving family behind in California, that's going to take some adjusting. It's a little bit easier when you either have family already living in the New Braunfels area or moving with you to the New Braunfels area. It tends to cushion the hard realities of that big decision to move, like it has for one of our clients. All she knew was California for 46 years until she moved to New Braunfels.
Yeah, I spent 2/3 of my life in California. All my siblings are there. They've been here longer. I've been in California about 46 years.
So is it hard then to leave your siblings?
A little hard. It's difficult.
Any regrets about moving here?
No, I love it here. I love it here. I get to learn what's going on around here. But everybody's so nice. Good, peace, calm, and more nature. I really like it. I'm so glad that I moved, even though I have to leave my siblings, come over here. But the reason of over here is because of my family also moved here.
What advice would you give somebody thinking about moving to New Braunfels or thinking about moving to Texas? What kind of advice? Somebody may be on the fence, thinking about, maybe undecided right now. What advice would you give them about making that big move from their state to Texas to possibly New Braunfels?
If they decide or they think about coming here, they should do it now. As I see what's going on here, it's all the people moving. The house is building, even around me right now. The people, the house building, it means more people moving. So the more you wait, the price of the home will go up.
Ms. Sherman is 100% correct. You have to act faster in our housing market here in New Braunfels because prices continue to increase. She knew that she needed to act fast to purchase her own home when she found out that her son was moving his family and her grandchildren to New Braunfels. And I'm finding out that grandchildren are becoming more of an anchor and a trigger point for people to move to New Braunfels, even if it means leaving their siblings and other family members behind and leaving behind the only state they knew their entire lives, like the Friedlanders. All they knew was California until they moved here.
I think leaving the people, our family and friends, was the hardest, but it doesn't rise to the level of regret, mainly because of where the state is going. It's just not where we can continue to be. And we're very grateful for what we're experiencing in Texas.
Yeah, in an odd way, one of the things that helped with that is because of COVID, everybody had to stay indoors, and we weren't having the same kind of interaction with the people that we know for almost a full year. So it made our trip out here a little bit easier.
You're renting right now because you're waiting for your house to be built. You're waiting for that main part, that more lower cost of living as far as the house is concerned, to be finished. What's that process been like for you?
It's taken a bit longer than we had hoped for. We were told all along, though, to expect that there'd be delays with construction, with workers, and that has been the case. I would say that's probably the biggest thing to factor into a move here, is just keep that timeline realistic and just plan that it's going to be longer than you think it's going to be.
If you were to gift anything to somebody watching this, let's say right now, and on the fence about moving to Texas and moving to New Braunfels, what would you gift that person? Like, what advice would you give that person?
I thought of something that I've seen people try to compare where they're moving from to what life is like here. And I would say, just out of amusement and curiosity, go ahead and make those comparisons, but try not to focus on the negatives and how we do it differently back in our state and that kind of thing. I think that the attitude that you come here with about exploring the new possibilities and how life is different and how much fun it'll be to look at those differences and appreciate them is by far, I think, you'll feel better about that kind of approach rather than, always looking at this isn't like home.
The Friedlanders are all in, and they got into New Braunfels right before the housing market just exploded in the first quarter of 2021. Like our young couple from the East Coast who moved to New Braunfels with their 2 children and have not looked back once.
I absolutely have no regrets whatsoever. Stepping off the plane, I knew this was the right thing, and it's just in the 4 months that we've been here, every day has shown us that we made the right choice.
How did you know that? How did you know it was the right thing for you guys?
We were looking for something new. This is about as new as it gets compared to New Jersey. And yeah, every day has just been exciting. There's so much to do here, and it's December and we're still in short sleeves. And
What's been the biggest difference for you guys coming from the East Coast to Texas?
besides the weather, I would say the people here, the pace of life is slower. People are much more friendly. Sorry to say, East Coast, but it's true.
It's true. I think it's been a very soft landing here. You know, I think we had really high expectations as to what life would be like here. But for me, I think it's really exceeded anything. Just the people have been so gracious. The community has been so wonderful. Like Rob said, all that there is to offer is just even better once you see it in person. Like, I really, truly can't think of anything negative that we've encountered really since being here.
And you have 2 young children, so what's that been like? What's that transition been like for you?
It's been smooth. That was the biggest concern coming here, is how our kids are going to adjust. But it's really been seamless. Yeah, they love it. Making friends, like their school.
However, there is a snag in Rob and Meg's plans. Their new construction home is taking longer to finish, which means they had to extend their apartment lease, and that's hitting them in the pocketbook.
one thing jumps to mind, that what we're paying here to rent while we wait for the house to be built is more than I expected. So it's comparative, or maybe even more expensive than what we'd be able to rent in New Jersey at the moment.
One other thing I'd add is that whatever time frame you are given, add on 30%, 40% more time, because in the best of conditions, you're going to have a delay, especially right now. So rather than be disappointed, just mentally prepare for it to be longer, and then maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. But at least you won't be disappointed.
A lot of other families feel the financial pinch that Rob and Meg are feeling right now, having to extend their lease until their house is complete. And these homes are taking longer because of all the supply chain chaos in California. And the big one is our shortage of workers. However, our relocating families tell us that just being in New Braunfels is well worth the wait.
I mean, the house is amazing, of course, but I mean, even an apartment in New Braunfels, like we're still in New Braunfels, and New Braunfels is my favorite city I think I've ever been to, especially just to live in. There's so much to do. You know, we went to Fredericksburg. I was like, oh, Fredericksburg is really great, but it's not New Braunfels.
Yeah, we kept saying, oh, this is a German town, but we like New Braunfels more.
New Braunfels is just so much fun. There's so much going on. Even in this neighborhood, everybody is so like neighborly. It's just such a drastic cultural difference. People are like doing like their pop-up tents and like selling stuff to each other.
They do
and,
little
like,
sales over in our neighborhood.
And it's just, the city has such like it's a bigger city now, but it feels still kind of like that small town feel, you know.
Yeah. Any regrets about making, it's a big move. Anytime you move anywhere, right?
Every day we say, have you ever regretted moving here even one time?
Yeah.
Never. Not even one day. We never said, man, I wish we didn't leave Oregon.
And it cracks me up because leaving was such an emotional and difficult thing.
Yeah.
And then we got here and we're like, oh, that was okay.
Yeah, like,
well,
why was that so hard?
Yeah, this is why we do it. And obviously we go to see our family tomorrow. We can't wait to see our family tomorrow. I desperately miss them. But when I compare the quality of life before moving here to now moving here, it is such a night and day difference. We have never even on our worst day here, even for a moment, questioned if we made the right decision.
Matthew and Emily, one of many families that made the move to New Braunfels in 2021. As you just heard from Matthew and Emily and all of our families on this video, they have no regrets about moving to New Braunfels. They do have some adjustment periods going on right now, like getting used to the exceptionally warm weather in the summer, getting used to the timelines on their new construction homes, and getting used to leaving some family members behind in their old states. What about you guys? Did you move to New Braunfels recently? Do you have any regrets about moving here? What lessons have you learned? What can you share with us? Please put your comments in the comment section below. I think this could be a very good resource, especially for families and people who are on the fence. Hey, should I move to New Braunfels or should I stay where I'm at? And if you are thinking about moving to the New Braunfels area, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.